Mark was a human engineer, living in a faraway alien colony. He worked in the repair station where old machines and broken relics were stored. Every day he fixed pipes, wires, and strange tools that no one else understood. Most aliens ignored him, thinking humans were weak, but Mark had clever hands and curious eyes. One evening, when the station was quiet, he noticed something strange. A small box lay half buried under a pile of scrap metal. It pulsed with a faint blue glow like a heartbeat in the dark. Mark bent down, brushed away the dust, and lifted it carefully. The metal felt warm, almost alive in his hands. He whispered to himself, "What are you?" The box hummed in reply. Not a sound from inside, but a vibration that tickled his fingers. Mark looked around. No one was watching, so he carried it back to his workbench. The device was smooth, covered in alien markings. He traced the symbols, trying to match them with what he had studied. But these markings were older, much older. His tools could not open the box. Yet when he tapped it, the glow grew brighter. Behind him, someone cleared their throat. Mark turned and saw her. A young alien girl, small compared to the others of her kind. Her skin shimmered faintly under the station lights. Her eyes glowed like twin moons. She looked nervous, clutching a basket of parts to her chest. Her name was Lyra. She often came to the station, trading small items for repair. Unlike the others, she sometimes smiled at Mark, but now her face was serious, almost afraid. "What are you holding?" she asked softly. Mark shrugged. "Just junk. Maybe a battery." Lyra stepped closer, her gaze fixed on the glowing box. Her cheeks flushed with a strange color, a soft pink that spread quickly. "It is not a battery," she whispered. "It is forbidden." Mark frowned. "Forbidden? Why?" Before she could answer, the box pulsed. The glow leapt from his hand and wrapped around Lyra like a wave of light. She gasped, dropping her basket. The parts clattered across the floor. The energy circled her body, focusing on her chest. In an instant, something impossible happened. Her small frame shifted, changed. Her coconuts grew larger. Lyra froze, her eyes wide. Her face turned red as fire. She covered herself with her hands, trembling. Mark stepped back, horrified. "I didn't do anything. I swear." But the device in his hand still glowed, almost as if it was laughing at them both. Lyra shook her head, her voice shaky. You made it happen." She turned away, hiding her face. Her long hair fell over her shoulders. Her breathing was quick, her body shaking. She pressed against the wall, trying to calm down, but her blush only deepened. Mark placed the box on the table and raised his hands. "I didn't mean to. It just reacted." Lyra peeked at him through her hair. Her eyes met his, and for a moment they both froze. Something unspoken passed between them. Fear, confusion, and something else. The silence broke when voices echoed outside. Other aliens were approaching the station. Lyra panicked. "Hide it! They must not see." Mark grabbed the box and stuffed it under his coat. The glow dimmed, but not completely. 2 alien guards entered, tall and armored. They looked at Lyra first, noticing her flushed face, then their eyes moved to Mark, suspicious. "What is happening here?" one demanded. Lyra stammered. Nothing. I just dropped my basket." The guards grunted, unconvinced. One leaned closer, sniffing the air as if he could smell the glow. But after a tense moment, they left, muttering about humans and their junk. Mark exhaled in relief. Lyra, however, still pressed her hands against her chest, still blushing. When the guards were gone, she whispered, "You don't understand what you've done." Mark frowned. "Then explain it to me." But Lyra only shook her head, eyes wide with fear. "No one can know. If they find out, both of us are finished." Mark studied her trembling form. Her body still carried the strange change the device forced on her, and her blush refused to fade. He felt a strange guilt, mixed with curiosity. He had only touched the box, but why did it react to her alone? The room felt heavy with silence again. Lyra finally looked at him, her face still burning. "You must never show it to anyone," she said. Her voice was low, urgent, almost pleading. Mark nodded slowly, though his mind burned with questions as he hid the box deeper in his bag. He realized something. This was no ordinary piece of junk. It was a secret, dangerous, and maybe alive. And somehow, it had chosen Lyra. Mark had no idea what it meant. But he knew one thing for sure. This was only the beginning. Lyra did not return home that night. Instead, she lingered near the repair station. Her mind kept replaying the moment when the strange device glowed. Her chest burned with heat. Her face still refused to cool down. No one in her colony had ever seen her like this before. And that terrified her. Mark sat at his bench, turning the glowing box in his hands. He had locked the doors and dimmed the lights. But even in shadow, the device pulsed faintly, almost as if it was breathing. He wanted to smash it, throw it away, yet something inside him whispered, "Don't let go." The silence broke when he heard soft footsteps. He turned quickly. Lyra stood in the doorway, clutching her shawl around her shoulders. Her eyes were wide, her cheeks still red. Mark frowned. "You should be at home. If anyone sees you here—" She shook her head quickly. "I can't, not after what happened." Mark set the box aside, trying to sound calm. "You need to tell me, Lyra. What was that thing? Why did it react to you?" Her lips trembled, her voice a whisper. "Because it sees me." Mark blinked. "Sees you? It's just a machine." Lyra shook her head, gripping the shawl tighter. "It is not just a machine. It is an ancient relic. My people used it long ago. For bonds." Her words hung in the air, heavy and dangerous. Mark leaned forward, whispering, "Bonds? What kind of bonds?" Lyra's face flamed. Her hands dropped for a moment, revealing her trembling. "Form when you really don't know human?" she asked softly. Her tone carried both fear and shame. Mark hesitated. "No, I only fixed machines. No one ever told me about this." Lyra stepped closer, each step heavy with hesitation. "When it glowed, it changed me," she whispered. Her voice broke and tears filled her glowing eyes. "I felt it linked to me. I felt it inside me calling to you. That is why I can't stop blushing." Mark froze, his heart beating faster. This was no small accident. This was something forbidden. He shook his head quickly. "But I didn't want this. I didn't mean to." Lyra cut him off, her small hand gripping his arm. Her touch burned, with heat. "I know you didn't. That is why I came back. I don't blame you." Her words made his chest heavy, but her trembling form told him something else. She was scared, but not of him. She was scared of what others would do if they found out. Mark sighed. "Then we hide it. No one needs to know." But Lyra's eyes widened further. "Hide it? You don't understand. If they see my face like this, if they see me blush again, they will know something happened." She pressed both hands against her cheeks, as if trying to cool them, but her blush only deepened. Her whole body betrayed her. Mark stood up, pacing the floor. "Then tell me how to stop it. How do we undo what happened?" Lyra lowered her gaze, whispering, "There is no undo. Once the relic awakens, it never sleeps again." Mark cursed under his breath. He glanced at the bag where the device was hidden. It glowed faintly through the cloth, as if mocking him, as if enjoying the chaos it caused. Lyra took a deep breath, her voice trembling. "There is something else. My people believe. When the relic awakens, it chooses. It chooses one bond. Forever." Her eyes lifted, meeting his. And for the first time, Mark saw not just fear, but a spark of something deeper, something that made his stomach twist. Mark whispered, "You mean, it chose me?" Lyra's blush flared hotter. She covered her face, shaking her head. "I don't want to say it. But yes, that is why I can't look at you without this." She dropped to her knees, hiding her burning face in her hands. Her voice cracked. "What will become of me now?" Mark knelt beside her, unsure of what to do. He reached out slowly, gently resting his hand on her shoulder. Her whole body stiffened. The relic in his bag pulsed brighter at the touch. Lyra gasped, looking up at him with wide, glowing eyes. The bond responded instantly, proving her words true. Mark pulled his hand back quickly, his chest tight. This was too much, too strange, too dangerous. Yet in Lyra's trembling gaze, he saw something he could not ignore. Trust, raw and desperate. She trusted him more than her own kind. Outside, voices echoed again. More aliens passed by the station. Lyra panicked, grabbing his sleeve. "Please, don't let them see me. Please, Mark." Her plea carried fear, but also something softer. Something like belonging. Mark swallowed hard, his mind racing. He had stumbled into something he could not escape. A secret bond, a forbidden relic, and an alien girl who blushed. Every time she looked at him as he stared at her trembling form, one thought cut deep into him. If the colony discovered this, they would punish them both. But if he turned away now, she would be destroyed alone. Mark knew he had to choose. And, though his heart trembled, his choice was already made. He whispered, "Then stay close to me. No matter what happens." Lyra's blush deepened, but she nodded quickly. For the first time that night, her lips formed a tiny smile. It was shy, fragile, but real, and it made the relic glow brighter in the shadows. Mark realized with a shiver, this was not just an accident. This was fate pulling them both into something greater, something they could not run from, and soon the whole colony would feel its weight. Morning came to the alien colony, but the night's secret refused to stay hidden. Mark walked through the busy streets, his bag heavy with the glowing relic. Beside him, Lyra kept her head down. Her cheeks still burned red whenever her eyes met his. They thought no one had noticed, but whispers travel faster than light. 2 guards had already told others what they saw, and soon, rumors began to grow like fire in dry grass. Some aliens laughed. The human touched her, and now she can't stop blushing, others whispered with fear. That relic was banned for centuries. If it returned, it means danger. And a few said something even darker. She belongs to him now. The relic has chosen. Mark heard the voices as he passed. Eyes followed him, sharp and suspicious. He clenched his jaw but kept walking. Lyra clung to his sleeve, trembling under the weight of every stare. Inside the repair station, the air was tense. Mark slammed the door shut and sighed. "They already talk about us," he muttered. Lyra lowered her head, her voice soft. "I told you this would happen. Once the relic wakes, it never hides." Mark paced the room, restless. "I don't care about rumors, I only care about keeping you safe." Lyra looked up, shocked. Her eyes glowed faintly, and her blush deepened. You care about me?" she whispered. Mark froze, realizing what he had said. But before he could answer, a loud knock shook the door. 2 alien merchants stood outside. They were grinning, their eyes fixed on Lyra. "So it's true," one said, mockingly. "The little one can't stop turning red around the human." Lyra hid behind Mark instantly. Her body betrayed her, her cheeks burning brighter. The merchants laughed loudly. "You should be careful, human. Her kind doesn't blush like that unless she's bonded." The word spread quickly. Within minutes, the entire market was buzzing with the tale. The human had claimed the shy alien girl. The relic had marked them both. By noon, children whispered and giggled when they saw Lyra. Elders frowned with anger, and warriors clenched their fists. To them, the human was dangerous now. A man who had awakened something forbidden. A man who could break their traditions. Lyra could not walk outside without stares burning into her skin. She stayed in the shadows, trembling. Her voice cracked when she whispered to Mark, "I don't know if I can bear this. They will shame me forever." Mark placed a hand gently on her shoulder. Her whole body stiffened, the relic glowed faintly in his bag, and her blush returned stronger than ever. The whispers outside only grew louder. That evening, the colony, Council summoned Mark. 3 elders sat in a high chamber, their faces stern, their eyes sharp. One elder spoke. "Rumors travel fast, human. Tell us the truth. What happened with the girl?" Mark swallowed hard, choosing his words carefully. "Nothing happened. An accident in my workshop. Nothing more." But Lyra sat. Beside him, her cheeks still red. The elders noticed, their frowns deepened. "This is no accident," another elder said. "The relic has returned, and it has chosen her. Perhaps even chosen you?" Mark's heart pounded. He wanted to deny it, but Lyra's trembling hand reached for his. Her touch made the relic pulse from inside his bag. The glow seeped faintly into the chamber. The elders gasped, whispering, among themselves. "It reacts only when they are near each other," one muttered. The council dismissed them with cold stares. But Mark knew what it meant. The rumors were no longer whispers. They were becoming truth in everyone's eyes. That night, Lyra sat quietly in the station, her eyes full of tears. "I can't face them tomorrow. They will laugh, or worse. They will punish me." Mark knelt in front of her, his voice firm. "Then let them laugh. I won't let anyone hurt you." Her lips trembled, a soft sound escaping her. Her blush spread across her face once more. But this time, she did not hide. She let the warmth remain because in that moment she believed him. Outside, however, the colony was restless. The rumors twisted into darker shapes. Some said Mark had bewitched her with human tricks. Others claimed Lyra had betrayed her people by choosing him. And in the shadows, a jealous figure listened with burning rage. A warrior, taller and stronger than most. His eyes glowed with fury. As he clenched his spear, he growled low, "The girl was promised to me. No human will take her." The rumors had not only made them outcasts, they had also awakened an enemy. And soon, Mark would be forced to face him. But for now, as the night grew colder, Mark sat beside Lyra in silence. The relic pulsed softly. Her cheeks burned gently with blush. And somewhere deep inside, Mark realized, this bond was already changing both of their lives forever. Night fell heavy over the alien colony, but sleep refused to come to Mark. He sat alone in the repair station, the relic glowing faintly on the table. Its light flickered like a heart, beating slowly. As if waiting for him to act, Lyra slept in the corner, curled under a blanket. Her small form trembled even in dreams. Her cheeks were still red. Even in sleep, the bond refused to fade. Mark stared at her, guilt twisting inside him. "This is my fault," he muttered to himself. He turned to the relic, determined to understand what had truly happened. His fingers traced the strange markings again. The lines curved and twisted like rivers. But one symbol stood out, a circle with 2 hands joined together. It glowed faintly whenever Lyra stirred in her sleep. Mark searched through old repair logs. The colony stored every design, every tool, yet he found nothing that matched this device. Frustrated, he dug deeper into hidden records. Finally, in a dusty file, he found a single forbidden entry. The words chilled him. Bonding relic, ancient tool used for joining lives, forbidden after the Great War, dangerous, never to be awakened. Mark read the lines again and again. The relic was never meant to be touched. It was not for repair, it was for connection, for binding 2 beings together forever. He looked back at Lyra. Her soft breathing filled the silent room. Her blush still lingered faintly on her cheeks. Mark whispered, "It didn't just choose you. It chose us." The next morning, Lyra woke with heavy eyes. She sat up, clutching the blanket. Her gaze fell on the relic, still glowing faintly. She froze, fear washing over her. "You didn't put it away?" she asked sharply. Mark shook his head. "I had to know the truth." Lyra's hands trembled. Her voice cracked. "And what did you find?" Mark hesitated, then spoke. "It was used in ancient times, to bond 2 beings, not just to mark them, but to tie them together forever." Lyra's face drained of color. Her blush returned stronger than ever. She stepped back, shaking her head. No, it can't be." Mark rose from his chair, his voice steady. Lyra, listen to me. That's why it reacts only when you're near. That's why your body keeps blushing. The relic sees you as the chosen one. Lyra's hands covered her face, her voice muffled. Do you understand what that means? My people will never forgive this. They will say I gave myself to a human. Mark clenched his fists, anger burning inside him. You didn't give yourself to me. It happened by accident. We both know that. But Lyra shook her head fiercely. They won't care about truth. To them, the bond is sacred. If they discover it, they will decide our fate. The door suddenly creaked open. An old scholar entered, his robes dragging on the floor. He looked at Mark, then at the relic. His eyes widened with fear. So the rumors were true, he whispered. The bonding relic has awakened. Lyra froze, her body stiff as stone. Mark stepped forward quickly. You know about this? Tell me everything. The scholar's voice was low and urgent. It was made in the time before peace, when humans and aliens first met. It was created to force unity between different species. Some bonds brought harmony, others brought destruction. That is why it was banned, Lyra gasped softly. Her hands clutched her chest as if holding her heart. The scholar's eyes softened. And now it has chosen you, child. Mark asked quickly. Can it be undone? Can we break the bond? The scholar shook his head slowly. No. Once the relic glows, the bond is sealed. The more you resist, the stronger it grows. Only acceptance can calm it. Lyra stumbled back, whispering, Acceptance? You mean? Her face turned crimson, tears welled in her glowing eyes. I must accept him, or lose myself. Mark felt his chest tighten. He wanted to protest, but the relic pulsed strongly, as if agreeing with the scholar's words. The room glowed with soft light, binding them in its silent judgment. The scholar warned, You must be careful. The council will not allow this bond. They will see it as a threat. Already warriors whisper against you. Mark thought of the jealous suitor, the warrior who had glared at him with burning fury. He knew a storm was coming, and this secret would not stay hidden for long. When the scholar left, silence filled the station again. Lyra sat on the floor, her head in her hands. Her blush painted her face bright red. Her voice cracked as she whispered, I can't escape this. Even if I want to, I can't stop thinking of you. Mark knelt beside her, his voice steady. I don't want to hurt you, but I won't run from this either. If the relic has chosen us, then we'll face it together. Lyra looked up at him, tears still shining, but behind her blush there was a spark of courage. A small flame that had not been there before. She nodded slowly, her whisper barely audible. Then stay close to me. Please, don't let go. The relic pulsed brighter than ever. Its glow spread across the room like a promise, binding them tighter with every heartbeat. And in the shadows outside, the jealous warrior watched, his hand tightening on his weapon, his voice a dark growl. This human will not keep what is mine. The colony woke restless. Rumors no longer whispered. They shouted, every corner echoed with the same tale. The human bonded the girl. The relic chose her. Mark kept his head low as he walked through the market. Lyra followed close, hiding, her face beneath her shawl. But no cover could hide her blush. Her cheeks burned red every time her eyes met his, and that alone fed the fire of gossip. Children pointed and laughed, merchants whispered in disgust, warriors muttered in anger. To them the bond was proof of betrayal, and in the center of that storm stood one man, tall, broad, and furious, Kale, the suitor. Kale's armor shone with sharp edges, his eyes glowed with rage. He slammed his spear on the ground as Mark passed. The crowd fell silent instantly. All eyes turned to the human and the trembling girl. Kale's voice thundered, Human, step away from her. She is mine by right. Lyra gasped, clutching Mark's sleeve. Her body shook, but her blush betrayed her again. The relic pulsed faintly under Mark's coat. The bond glowed for all to see. Kale's fists clenched, his jaw tightened. She was promised to me since childhood. And now, because of your cursed hands, she burns for you. His voice shook with fury. She belongs to me, not you. Mark stood still, his chest heavy. He wanted peace, not a fight. But Lyra pressed closer, hiding behind him. Her small voice cracked. No. I will not go with you. I choose him. Gasps tore through the crowd. The air thickened with shock. Never before had Lyra spoken so boldly. Cale's face twisted in rage. You dare reject me? For a human? Mark raised his hands, trying to stay calm. I didn't want this. The relic forced it. But she is free to choose. Kyle snarled, his spear tip pointing at Mark. Then I will take her back by force. Fight me, human. The crowd cheered for battle. They wanted blood. They wanted proof. If the bond was real, it would survive the trial. If not, the human would die. Lyra's eyes filled with tears. She tugged at Mark's sleeve desperately. No, don't fight him. You will be killed. Mark looked at her, his voice steady. I won't let him take you. Not while I'm alive. Kyle roared, stepping into the center square. He spun his spear with deadly skill. The crowd circled eagerly. The trial had begun. Mark had no weapon, only his wits and his hands. He stepped forward slowly. The relic pulsed harder with each beat of his heart. Lyra's blush burned like fire. The bond was alive. Watching them, Cale lunged first. His spear, cutting the air, Mark dodged narrowly, the blade slicing his sleeve. The crowd gasped. Kyle attacked again. Faster. Mark rolled aside, grabbing a metal rod from the ground. It was crude, but it would have to do. Lyra cried out, Please, stop. He is not your enemy. But Cale ignored her. His strikes rained down, each one stronger than the last. Mark blocked clumsily. The rod sparked against the spear. His arms ached with every blow, but he refused to fall. Each time, Lyra cried his name. His body found strength, and each time he fought back, the relic glowed brighter. The crowd noticed. Murmurs filled the air. The relic strengthens him. It answers her blush. Cale's fury grew with every glow. You dare use the bond against me? With a roar, Kyle swung his spear in a deadly arc. Mark barely deflected it. The force sent him stumbling back. His rod bent under the pressure. Kyle advanced, ready to strike the final blow, but in that instant, Lyra screamed. Her voice broke through the chaos. Mark, don't give up, please. The relic exploded with light. A pulse spread through the square, throwing Cale back to the ground. The crowd shielded their eyes. When the glow faded, Mark still stood, his chest heaving. The relic hummed softly. Lyra clung to him, her face bright. Red her blush stronger than ever. Cale staggered to his feet, his eyes wide with disbelief. The relic chose you. It really chose you. He spat. Hatred twisted his face. This isn't over, human. If the council won't kill you, I will. He stormed away, his armor clashing against stone. The crowd erupted in shouts and arguments. Some cheered for the human. Others cursed him. The colony was divided. Mark held Lyra close, his voice low. Are you hurt? She shook her head quickly. Her blush spread all the way to her ears. Her voice trembled. You risked your life. For me. Mark gave a faint smile. I told you. I won't let anyone take you. Her eyes filled with tears. She buried her face against his chest. The relic pulsed warmly between them. But even as the bond deepened, Mark knew this was only the beginning. Kyle would not rest, and the council would not stay silent. The battle for Lyra's future had only just begun. The colony could not ignore. The battle, Cale's defeat, spread like wildfire. By morning, every street echoed with one story. The human stood against Cale and lived. Some whispered with awe, others whispered with fear, but the loudest voices called for punishment. The council had to act. They summoned Mark and Lyra to the Great Hall, where justice was decided. The Great Hall was vast. Tall pillars reached toward the sky, symbols of ancient law carved into the stone. Hundreds of eyes filled the chamber. Warriors, merchants, elders, even children, all came to witness the fate of the human and the blushing girl. Mark walked slowly, his steps heavy but steady. Beside him, Lyra clutched his sleeve, her face hidden beneath her shawl. but her cheeks still burned red. Her blush betrayed her before all. At the front sat the council of elders, 3 ancient figures cloaked in silver, their eyes sharp, their voices heavy. One elder spoke. "Human, you have awakened a relic long forbidden. You have caused chaos in our colony. You will stand trial." The crowd cheered for judgment. Kale stood among them, his eyes full of fire. His voice rang out. "Trial. There is no need. The relic proves he is guilty. End him now." The elder raised a hand, silencing him. "We do not kill without proof. The relic will decide." At those words, the chamber filled with gasps. The forbidden trial had been declared, a test not seen in centuries. Lyra's breath caught, her grip on Mark's arm tightened. She whispered, "No, not the trial, please." Mark bent down slightly, his voice steady. "What is it?" Her lips trembled. "The trial forces the bond to reveal itself. If it shows truth, they accept it. If not, they kill the bonded pair." Mark's chest tightened, but there was no escape now. The relic was brought forth, placed on a stone pedestal in the center, its glow faint, waiting. The elder spoke again. "You will place your hands upon the relic. If the bond is false, it will stay dark. If true, it will bind you before us all." The hall grew silent. Every eye locked on them. Lyra trembled, tears filling her eyes. "I don't want them to see. I don't want to be their show." Mark turned to her, his voice low but strong. "Then don't look at them. Look only at me." Her breath hitched, her face burned crimson, but she nodded slowly. Together they stepped forward. The relic hummed as they neared. The glow flickered, stronger with every step. Gasps rose from the crowd, even before their hands touched. The bond already stirred. Kale roared from the crowd. "Trickery! He controls it somehow. He's cursed her." But no one silenced him this time. All eyes stayed on the human and the girl. Mark reached out first. His hand rested on the relic's surface. The glow spread faintly, but not enough to decide. "The elder commanded. Now the girl. If her bond is real, it will reveal itself." Lyra hesitated. Her hands shook violently. Her lips whispered, "I can't. Everyone is watching." Mark leaned closer, his voice gentle. "Don't think of them. Think of me. Think of us." Her eyes met his. Her blush deepened until her whole face glowed. Slowly, she placed her hand beside his. The relic pulsed once, then erupted in light. A wave of energy filled the chamber. The glow wrapped around them like chains of fire. Symbols appeared in the air, ancient marks of unity shining above their heads. The crowd gasped. Some even fell. To their knees, Lyra cried out softly. Her body shook as the light spread through her. But Mark steadied her, holding her arm. The relic's glow carved its truth into the hall. The bond was real, unbreakable, undeniable. The elder's voice shook as he spoke. "It is true, the relic has chosen. The girl is bound to the human." The crowd erupted in chaos, half cheered, half shouted in rage. Kale's face twisted in fury. "No, I will not accept this. She is mine." He rushed forward, his spear raised, but guards blocked his path. The council shouted for order. The chamber roared with voices. The colony was splitting apart. Amidst the chaos, Lyra leaned against Mark, her face buried in his chest. Her blush burned hotter than ever, but her voice was calm. They all saw it. They can't deny it now. Mark stroked her trembling hand, his voice steady even as the hall shook with anger. They saw, and they will never forget. The relic dimmed slowly, its glow fading back into silence, but its judgment remained. The forbidden trial had bound them before all. Now no lie could protect them, no excuse could hide them. Their fates were sealed. Together Mark knew the road ahead would not be easy. Enemies had risen on every side, but as Lyra clung to him, blushing even through her tears, he made a silent vow. "I'll fight for this bond, no matter what comes." And in the shadows of the hall, Kale's eyes burned with unbroken rage. His whisper carried a promise of blood. "This is not the end, human. I will end you." The great hall did not calm. The relic's glow still shimmered faintly on the stone. But the colony's voices rose louder and louder. Some shouted, "It is sacred, the bond is real." Others screamed, "It is shame. End them now." Mark stood firm in the center. Lyra clung to his arm, trembling. Her cheeks burned bright red. Her whole face was fire, yet she did not let go. Her blush told everyone watching, this bond was alive. The council raised their hands for silence, but the noise refused to die. Kyle broke through the guards, his voice raw with fury. "She is mine, the relic lies, a human cannot be chosen." He pointed his spear at Mark, his chest heaving with hate. Lyra gasped, her voice breaking. "No, Kale, I will never be yours. The relic showed truth. My heart showed truth." The crowd fell into shocked silence. Never had she spoken so boldly. Her face glowed crimson, but her voice was strong, and in that moment her blush was no longer shame. It was defiance. Mark placed himself between her and Kale, his voice low but sharp. "You heard her. She chose. The relic chose. End this madness." Kale roared and lunged forward, but before his spear struck, the relic pulsed once more. A wave of light filled the hall. Everyone froze. Symbols of ancient unity burned above Mark and Lyra again. Chains of light wrapped around their wrists. The bond sealed itself in front of all. The relic did not ask permission, it commanded truth. Kale stumbled back, blinded. The crowd gasped. Some fell to their knees in awe, others trembled with fear. The elder's voice shook as he declared, "It cannot be undone. The relic has bound them. The girl belongs to him, and he belongs to her." Lyra's blush deepened until her whole body glowed. She buried her face against Mark's chest, but her voice carried clear. "Then let the whole colony see. I will not hide anymore." The hall shook with shouts. Some cheered her bravery. Others cursed the union, but no one could deny what their eyes had witnessed. The relic had spoken louder than any law. Mark tightened his arms around her. He whispered, softly, "You don't have to be afraid anymore. They all saw it. No one can take you away." Lyra trembled, her tears warm against him, her blush stronger than ever. Yet this time she smiled through it. Kyle's fury cracked into despair. He dropped his spear, his voice hoarse. She was mine. She was promised. But the relic pulsed again, and the symbols above Lyra and Mark flared brighter, denying Kale before all the guards dragged him away. The crowd divided in rage and awe, but no one dared touch the human or the girl now. The relic's glow had marked them untouchable. As the hall emptied slowly, Lyra remained close to Mark, her small hands gripping his coat, her blush refusing to fade. She whispered with a trembling voice, "I thought I would drown in shame. But now, my blush feels different." Mark looked down at her. "What do you mean?" Her glowing eyes lifted to meet his. "It feels like proof. Proof that I belong here. Proof that I belong with you." Mark's chest tightened at her words. He brushed a strand of hair from her face. Her skin burned hotter under his touch, but she did not pull away. Her blush only deepened. Outside, the colony buzzed with chaos, but inside, in that quiet moment, they had found peace. The elder returned once more, his voice solemn. "The bond has rewritten our law. Never before has a human been chosen. This will change everything." Mark frowned. "Change everything? How?" The elder's eyes gleamed. "Some will follow you. Some will hunt you. Either way, you cannot return to the shadows. You are part of our story now." Mark glanced at Lyra, her face still buried in his chest, her blush still glowing for all to see, and he knew the elder was right. They had crossed, a line no one could erase. As the relic dimmed at last, Lyra whispered, barely audible, "Mark, promise me one thing." He lowered his head. "What?" Her blush burned crimson, her voice fragile but steady. "Promise me you'll never let go of me, no matter what they say." Mark smiled faintly, his voice firm. I promise. From now, until the end. The relic pulsed one final time as if sealing his vow, the bond between human and alien now eternal, and so the girl who could not stop blushing became the girl who changed everything. Her blush was no longer a curse. It was the proof of a bond the galaxy had forbidden, a bond no one would ever forget.